bit scary. And whoever was in Vegas, they know everything about it. Just saying.
What's your role?
I'm a technically whatever it takes to get it done. So I've been in the company since day 2. I was chief revenue officer. I've called myself custodial engineer. I've chief marketing officer, just whatever it takes. And that's kind of my personality and mentality. But I love too being the chick in this scenario, and especially at InsurTech Connect, because like I just wait for these dudes to like come up to me at the after parties and like, because obviously, you know, especially when you're one of the only chicks at these conferences, you just get dudes coming up to you in general. But at the after party, I love like, you know, putting on an even fancier dress, redoing your makeup, and then wearing my InsurTech Connect thing and like have dudes come up to me and be like, hey, there's no way you're in insurance. And I'm like, oh yeah. Like, this is when I do most of the work. It's awesome. Well, that's all marketing is at the end of the day. Come on. It's like, if you know, and I'm not like a booth babe. I was a model many moons ago. I was on Deal or No Deal. I did snort tees and all of that. But that was the only reason why I knew back in the day, you know, what influencer marketing kind of was. I was like, well, I could just wear a shirt, take a picture of it, and, you know, have it kind of, you know, sell it. So, samesies, but now for insurance.
Sure, why not? Yeah. Because insurance, we sell trust. And this is a great thing, you know. Okay, so we talked about brand building.
Mm-hmm.
What type of a brand are you trying to build?
What kind of brand are you trying to build? A great product. I know it's actually kind of corny.
Any marketers in the sort of, okay, nods, and a little bit of a dismissive hand.
Yeah, but I feel like all of marketing is really, and all of branding in general, is just about telling a story. And I feel like, one, it comes from the integrity of the founder, first and foremost, because, you know, anybody that's, you know, been part of companies that you're like, I just don't really trust that guy. I'm like, there's, you know, and maybe you can kind of shine it away with certain branding and storytelling. But I just love that at the end of the day, we're all doing something really cool with this company. We are working so hard, and we have from day one. And we didn't really know what we were doing, and we're kind of honest about that. But we built a really, really cool product. It's a phenomenal team behind it, and I just can't speak highly enough of everybody at the company. So it's been great. But in terms of anything else in the future, I don't know. Again, this AI, I can't wait. So we'll see.
By the way, they're coming out with AI.
But it's like, you know what I mean? It's like having, again, like a toddler. Like I can't even imagine how, and that was the first thing that I knew that this technology was coming.
Is that public?
No, it's not public yet.
It's not public
yet.
yet.
So we're seeding it.
Do I need like to
Oh no,
edit
don't worry
it
about that.
out,
Don't worry about that.
I see her product manager go like, oh my god.
But that was like literally the second that we got this demo and the second that the contract was confirmed, my brain went into overdrive. I was like, oh my god. I was like, I don't think you understand how huge this is.
Do you do the sales as well? Or just the marketing?
I do whatever. Yeah, I do whatever.
Okay. No, it's I can see that. Yeah.
So you're saying you have technology, or you're working on technology that will allow you to determine whether someone is telling the truth.
Yep, it's a partnership that we have the exclusive license on. So it took a little bit of back and forth, but we have the exclusive license on it finally. And so now we're going to be able to, you know, assess from these videos whether or not someone's lying. But again, it's not about catching that thief, because that's actually less interesting to the insurance companies, as we found out. It's about taking care of that one person. And again, that's what Emilio said, our CEO. He's like, take care of that one person, and then for the next 7 years, you're actually good.
You know, as far as lying, there's several theories that say that that's inaccurate. Like, we have a lie detector onto that.
Yeah.
In fact, I have several friends that wanted to apply for a job that required the lie detector, and they had trouble with it. They didn't fail, but something happened that they didn't like them. So
if your heart's racing too like high, so all it does at the end of the day is give the insurance company the option to take a second look. We're not saying 100% foolproof. Same as court. You know, if you take a polygraph, it's like, you know, is this admissible? Is it not? It's kind of, you know, some people think it's wishy-washy. But all we're saying is if you're operating on X amount of volumes of these claims coming through, and we give you something that would say, like, okay, with 75% accuracy, let's say, and we haven't determined yet what those numbers are, with 75% accuracy, we're going to say that this person, just take a second look. And that's all we're doing. We're not.
What about the privacy? Because I think that you may need a consent from the person to use that.
Oh, absolutely. We have a big legal team. As you can imagine from the founder and his previous history, we have an awesome legal team.
I think that most people are going to say, no, I don't want to participate on that.
Totally. And, you know, we're crossing that bridge as we come to it. But the thing is that we've received so far, overwhelmingly so, both from the VC side in terms of the investors and the actual insurance carriers, is this is what they want. So it's just kind of, we're, again, lean enough that we can, you know, operate in that capacity. We're protecting ourselves as a startup, that, you know, we're taking certain legalities and potential liabilities in place. But But again, I feel like that's the exciting part, is that being on the cusp and being on the edge of something that's really, really cool. I feel like that's kind of what gets us up in the morning and, has us loving insurance every day the last 3 years.
I would think that they would want it because everyone wants to have their claims paid as soon as possible. I would think that they would.
And that's actually the strategy. So most of the claims, they want to pay you as fast as possible.
But also I think that people would be nervous when they went through an accident or something on their house. They're so nervous and anxious that they will feel really, really more nervous if people are taking a video.
Totally.
But the alternative is just having an adjuster come to your house and take the same photos,
mm-hmm.
right? So it's not. That's the alternative.
So when you think about the cost and the value, right? For you as the person, you would like to be paid as fast as possible because you would like to get your life back. For the carriers, they would like to pay you as fast as possible because then they can actually pay you a little bit less. And if you drag it, especially if you take it to all kinds of, to the court or arbitration, it means that it will cost them more because they need to pay legal fees. They don't want to do that. They want you to be happy, stay a good customer, and we would really like to pay you as fast as possible so we will not need to have any more overhead. That's it. When everyone is happy, everyone is happy.
So Jen, what would you say are some of the challenges in marketing your technology to
mm-hmm.
some of these insurance carriers?
Oh man, for InsurTech Connect the first year, it was proving, and actually for pretty much almost the first 2 years, it was actually at InsurTech Connect this past year where and this is why I love being so hands-on, is because as the marketing person, I can kind of have a street kind of view of what's happening and how people are adopting. But at the second year was when I saw like, whoa, I don't have to defend myself anymore. So the first year, it was just constantly like, well, how is this legal? Was almost number one. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? And I happen to be a lawyer's daughter, and I happen to love the law myself. So I actually educated myself on a lot of the legalities behind it. And I remember this one gentleman in particular, he was in Massachusetts, and he used a funny term, and I was just telling the story, but he used something like, oh, you're skirting around a not-so-great area. He was basically just saying that the law said that you had to have eyes. You had to have vision on the actual claim as per part of, I guess, the adjustment. You had to have vision on the property. But the way that it was written was very open-ended. That I'm like, and I said to him right on the call, I was like, well, which side of the coin do you want me to argue? I'm like, what's the definition of that? And I said, and he's like, well, I think you're, whatever he said in particular. I can't even make fun of it right now, but it was brilliant. But he just kind of didn't understand it. And that was the big uphill battle, was explaining to people, this is the wave of what's coming. And then also too understanding again the rate of adoption of how we spoon feed that to them. Maybe not do this is the future, we're coming after your jobs, because that's not what we're after. That's not what we're doing. But it's just, this is technology as it is. This is what, and again, we're not the only ones in this space. So it's not like, we're the bad guys. We're actually here to help and help everybody win. So instead of having to take, time away from your family, going out to all these remote locations, you can literally just do it from your desk and process exponentially amount more claims, in the process, which takes care of people.
So how many other jurisdictions have your lawyers already considered countries?
Yeah, oh goodness. We can technically, in terms of our operations, we've tested specifically Japan. We've done Johannesburg. We can go internationally and globally by definition of just the technology that we've built. But in terms of the jurisdictions, we just set up a web server in the UK because that was part of the UK insurance policies and whatnot. And we're dealing with equally tier 1 large carriers, so we had to kind of make sure that was taken care of and all of the above. So we for sure have our web servers there. In terms of anything else in the future, it just depends upon the way the wind blows, quite frankly.
Why was the strategy to go so far away from the U.S.?
He reached out to us. It was when I was on the West Texas Investors Club, super randomly. They did a follow-up, so I was on season 1, and then they did a follow-up on season 2. And I actually, because I was traveling nonstop when all of this was going on, I was at a conference somewhere in Sunnyvale. This guy just reached out, being like, "Oh my God!" Like he just happened to be from the UK, but that's the power of technology, or TV and marketing and all of the above. And so I took the call, and he engaged then with Louis, the founder, and they kind of went back and forth a bit. And then he actually flew out here. He's like, "I don't think you understand. This is the future." But had it not been for the West Texas Investors Club, I don't think that would have happened. So it wasn't by choice, I assure you.
What advice would you give to people who are entering the InsurTech industry and how they can get B2B clients if they don't have the connection?
Yeah, I think groups like this are amazing because I think that there really is, and I know you guys were talking about launching the InsurTech LA scene, and please, I have connections for you guys as well, but like just having these conversations, figuring out, like, I feel like general team building is always, the winner at the end of the day. It's like, that quote, like, no man is an island, but it couldn't be truer. Not only is this, scene expanding so rapidly and quickly, but also too, insurance people have a lot of money. So if you're going after B2B clients and all of the above, like, there is so much opportunity in this space, both again from the tech side and the monetary side, that, I would just kind of continue everything it is that you guys are doing. Keep it up. Like, LinkedIn groups are amazing. Facebook groups are like literally where it's at. I don't know if you guys saw with their algorithm change that now they're actually populating a lot more from Facebook groups. So you'll see them more often in your feed. Get as active and involved in all of those as you can. It's brilliant. I use Facebook groups way more than I do LinkedIn. And just keep going. Be part of the conversation, but then also have an opinion. Don't just be the lurker that likes things. Like, post a comment. Like, I actually read before, we bring anybody on board, or if I'm like doing my little digital sleuthing, I'll look at some of their activity and whatnot and see what comments that they've posted. Like, are they just like, oh, great job, well done, or do they actually have an opinion? Because people that have an opinion in this space are definitely people that we want at our company.
Or you should go to the West Texas Investors Club.
I know. Well, now they have Rooster and Butch on A&E. So actually, it's on tonight if you guys want to watch it. They're my homies. I love them very much. So.
How long would you, how many meetings would you say you have to carry before you can close?
Oh, God.
And which departments do you see that you have to meet with in order to actually get a deal done?
Your ultimate title that you want to go after is any sort of chief of innovation, head of innovation, basically anything with innovation. But you can actually do, so this is like a little like kind of, I'm a hacker and kind of growth hacky. But one of the things that I wound up doing on the side was just there's this Chrome browser extension you can get called Duck Soup. So I can't remember if it's actually free and or if you pay for it. If you do, it's maybe like $10. So what you do is you type in a search of like chief innovation officer, or like you put in certain keywords, and then all it does is go and visit the profile of that person. So what's one of the number one things people do on LinkedIn? You check and see who checked out your profile. So it's just this little technique, and then you can also, obviously set up another funnel where you can have it go to send them a LinkedIn message. But I personally get inundated on LinkedIn. But you can do some really interesting, I didn't want to say data scraping, but should you want to do some data scraping and have some info on that, it's information that's all available. But again, I think if you work smarter, not harder, and you have a really good workflow in terms of your follow-up with these people, you could probably do it way faster than we did, because that was all stuff that we just had to learn by doing.